Hello and welcome back. Today I'd like to talk to those women and the millenniums and the uninformed, clueless voters, as well as those who refuse to vote, about some truths that you need to know about Donald Trump. Do not allow biased, self-centered politicians to influence your feelings towards Mr. Trump in any way. And especially do not allow the prejudiced, selfish news media and the reporters and commentators and political pundits who believe their views and their visions are better than yours, and they try to push their views on you. Those in the conservative wing of the Republican Party, whatever that means, because they are defining their terms and their definitions of conservative from their own biased point of view. They say that Mr. Trump is not a conservative. Well, I don't know what is more conservative than closing off our borders, slowing down this influx of refugees coming into America with the intent to do harm, and those who refuse to agree on this are really closed-minded. And I have, in my previous speeches, have given you my version that the liberal left is as closed-minded as the conservative right, because they refuse to accept any contrarian point of view if you don't 1, 2, 3, 4 follow their definitions. Mr. Trump says the things that I want to hear. He says the thing that most Americans that aren't on the far right or the far left, but are in the hard-working middle class, that are afraid, and they're afraid that they're losing faster than should be those traditions and those virtues and those beliefs that most of us grew up on. These youngsters don't. They're of an age, of the internet age, where they really don't have the same value and belief system that we older folks have. They're easily brainwashed and programmed and conditioned, or otherwise these young kids wouldn't be lining up in such a fanatical amount for Bernie Sanders. They do not understand socialism. If they did, none of them would even be thinking of voting for him. And they are now. They're voting in huge numbers. And they are so blind and unconscious of what socialism really means. It's a version of communism. It's a version of fascism. It's a version of Marxism. It's just got this nice, little bit older than me guy up there saying, I'll give you this, I'll give you that. And these young kids believe that. I just can't understand, but I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist. I'm just a ordinary person who's trying and has been trying for 40-some years to get you to understand that inside each of us is a disease called selfism, where we justify every one of our choices and decisions from a selfish point of view. We use any ways, any means to justify that end result. And this is what's happening to politics right now. Donald Trump is his own man. He speaks from his mind, and sometimes when he just speaks from his mind, he might say some crass, off-colored things that upset some people, but if they were honest, they've heard it before, they've seen it before, they've said it before. But they are so self-righteous, that they get this false indignation that they seem offended. And they use it as an excuse, not as a reason to vote and understand this man. A lot of them, I believe, are envious or have a certain amount of contempt for his success because he has been out there for 30 years. There has never been a person running for office before that has been so exposed to the media than this man. And I don't care where you search, you go all the way back to his high school and college days. All his friends loved and admired him and called him truthful. Those people that have known him for 30 and 40 years give him nothing but accolades and recommend that you vote for him. He is a nice man. He is a family man. He doesn't smoke. He doesn't drink. And if you look at his lovely family when he surrounds them around them, he has them around him, you can see there's love in their eyes and in their hearts. And when he does speak and filter things through his heart, then through his mind, I think he will be a little better. And he says he does take his own counsel. Well, I take my own counsel, but I do filter that through that little still voice in the back of my mind. And I think it's my private conversations with Jesus. And today being Easter, I think it's more than ever appropriate to speak about regenerating or reinvigorating or the rebirth of spirit in your own heart. Most of us have forgotten the most important thing that Jesus said. Love the Creator, thy God, with all thy body, with all thy mind, with all thy soul, and thyself, and thy neighbor as thyself. Now, in my books and in my previous talks, I say love the Creator, love yourself, and love your neighbors as you would want to be loved. Now, most of us say that. It goes in one ear and out the other to others, and even in your own mind, in your own heart, you really don't do it justice, because that golden rule means that you must do the right thing all the time, not just when it's convenient, not just when you want it to be. You have to have the will, and you have to have the want. And I stress this: you must want the will, and you must will the want to be a good person. You must will the want and want the will to do the right thing. And it's difficult. Trust me, I know better than most, because I've made more mistakes than most. And I haven't given up. I just recently went through my second cancer procedure for prostate cancer. And I had a chance to really reflect on how vulnerable we are as individuals, as we all are as humans. And we can be out of this game in a second. And I see every day people my age passing away, and I'm wondering, did they have an opportunity to make an imprint or a mark on the world in such a way that they leave a good wake or a good track behind them? I have some grandchildren that I have faith in that one of these days they'll read my books and they'll read or see these YouTube things, and it might just strike a chord in their hearts and in their minds, and they will do the right thing at the right time. And that's what I'm talking to you about now. You women, you millennium, you non-voters, you clueless voters, get in the game. Understand, don't allow someone else to influence you. Don't allow anyone else to brainwash or program you. Gain your own self-enlightenment through your own honest search, and you'll feel the truth. You won't just accept it in your head, and you won't become a blind, unconscious lemming following other rioters. And I'll get into that in my next talk, because I really want to take on this unconscious zombie existence out there that the MoveOn.org and the Black Lives Matters and the far lefts, the communists, the socialists, are driving those victims who don't really understand that they are more than what these people lead them to be. And so I leave you with this spiritual message on this spiritual day. Search deep in your heart for that little still voice that will guide you to do the right thing, and you will start doing the right thing all the time. And I know it's difficult because I haven't been able to, but until we meet again, try, and Godspeed. Thank you.